Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
There is hope today that coronavirus patients may be helped by a drug that's already on the market. White House advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci says the drug sets a new standard of care for patients hospitalized with COVID-19. Natalie Brand has details from the White House.
And present a little bit deeper.
The White House announced the drug remdesivir has shown real promise as a therapy for the coronavirus.
It is a very important proof of concept because what it is proven is that a drug can block this virus.
Dr. Anthony Fauci says there's evidence California-based Gilead Sciences experimental drug shortens hospital stays for coronavirus patients and lowers the death rate. But the drug still needs FDA approval.
You're going to be hearing more details about this. This will be submitted to a peer-reviewed journal and will be peer-reviewed appropriately.
The news comes as President Trump is pushing states to reopen as soon as it is safe to do so.
We're going to be very careful as we open. A lot of people, a lot of governors are opening. But certainly it's a positive. It's a very positive event.
News of the possible drug breakthrough sent the stock market up today, even though economic fallout from the coronavirus continues to mount.
The Commerce Department announced the GDP shrank 4.8% in the first quarter, the largest decline since the 2008 Great Recession.
You know, it's yesterday's news. I don't want to belittle it because the next quarter is going to be much worse.
Just this morning, Boeing announced it's cutting back on production and laying off 10% of its workforce. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
President Trump is confident the economy will rebound and predicts the fourth quarter of this year will be, in his words, fantastic. The number of people who've tested positive for COVID-19 in North Dakota has surpassed 1,000. State health officials say there are 42 new cases today, bringing the total to 1,033. Today's new numbers include 20 in Cass County and 16 in Grand Forks County. The number of deaths attributed to the coronavirus in North Dakota remains at 19. Minnesota has 18 more deaths and 463 new positive cases. The death toll is now at 319, and the number of cases is 4,644. Today's numbers reflect a push to ramp up testing across Minnesota, with the largest single-day increase in both cases and tests since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. State health officials say about 2,900 people were tested for the coronavirus in the past day, bringing the total tests administered in state and private labs to 66,744. Governor Tim Walz says the state will continue to gradually reopen its economy, and he'll provide more details about the plan ahead tomorrow. State GOP lawmakers, meanwhile, are urging Walz to allow surgeries and procedures to resume. They say the medical needs of tens of thousands of Minnesotans are being delayed because of Walz's executive order. Sanford Health announced antibody testing is starting at their Fargo locations next week in hopes of helping determine how many people have been infected with COVID-19, as well as if you can be reinfected. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley talked with health officials today who say not everyone should run to get this test.
While it can't tell you if you currently have COVID-19, getting an antibody test will tell you if you've had it before. However, health experts say not everyone should rush to get these tests, saying for now it's for those who think they've already been sick with COVID-19 but couldn't get a test.
Plus, family members of people who have had COVID to see if they were exposed and never developed any symptoms or developed mild symptoms, or if you think you had a significant exposure to somebody at work.
Dr. Nagpal says it takes about 2 to 3 days to get results back from the Mayo Clinic and warns you're not out of the woods if your test comes back positive.
I absolutely do not recommend that you let your guard down. You still have to wear a mask. You still cannot go and hug people who have active COVID infection. We don't know how much the immunity protects you.
While he says he's optimistic those with positive antibody tests will have some immunity, Dr. Nagpal says right now that's only an assumption.
It is unusual for people to get the same respiratory infection twice within the same season, but And I hope that's the case with COVID-19 too, but I do not have data to tell you for sure.
He says health experts are continuing to search for answers and cures for COVID-19 and says he hopes antibody testing is just another step in the right direction. In Fargo, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
Sanford says there's not yet a set day when the antibody testing will begin at their facilities next week, but once they do announce it, you can find that information on our VNL News app. Did we get the rain out of the way for a few days? We've got a nice Wednesday on our hands. Let's find out about this evening from our First Alert Storm team, and that means Hutch, coming to us from his home. Hey, Hutch.
Andrea, I got to tell you, the weather outside has been improving throughout the day, and the clouds long gone, the showers long gone. Most of us enjoying that sunshine, and the wind has been from the north. So we've been cool today, but we are experiencing the best weather of the entire day right now. Perfect to get outside and enjoy those low to mid 60s across the valley. Notice the 70s out to the west. They are on the way. Some improvement in the forecast. Here's a look at our Skycam network, the South Fargo location at the studios. They're looking at a few fair weather cumulus clouds. Beautiful conditions will continue for your evening, Andrea. Temperatures slipping into the 50s once that sun sets, and clear skies throughout the overnight. Sunset, by the way, 8:36 p.m. And in Grand Forks, temperatures very similar. Look at how beautiful it looks there as well, with a upper 40s by bedtime tonight. Coming up, we do warm up on Thursday. I'll show you how warm we get. There's always a hitch in the giddy up, and I'll explain all of that as we look toward the end of the work week and the weekend ahead next.
Are blaming distracted and drunk driving for a crash that injured 2 people in Stutsman County. The North Dakota Highway Patrol says a 19-year-old driver was distracted by her passenger's cell phone while driving south of Jamestown last night. Her pickup hit the ditch and rolled. She was arrested for DUI, and her passenger was arrested for minor in consumption of alcohol. Neither was badly hurt. A Clay County judge set bond today at $1 million for a Barnesville woman accused of killing a foster child in her care. 35-year-old Kelly Anderson is charged with second-degree murder. Court documents state the child was lifeless and bruised when he was brought to a Fargo emergency room last week. KFGO News is reporting that bond for Anderson's release from jail is $1 million without conditions or $500,000 with conditions. The Great Plains Food Bank in Fargo received a sizable donation at a time when the need is great. More than 37,000 pounds of potatoes were donated today. The potatoes were intended for restaurants, but with restaurants closed due to the pandemic, the food was donated to prevent waste. Great Plains Food Bank has seen a 30% increase in food demand at their partner pantries.
Before COVID hit, we were serving 1 in 8 individuals, and we just ran some numbers last night, and our food pantries are reporting a 44% increase, and at our mobile food pantry distribution, we've seen 79% increase.
At the same time as demand is up, the food bank says it's seeing a decline in donations as stores are giving less and people are holding on to food during these tough economic times. There are going to be some new rules when the Red River Zoo in South Fargo reopens this Saturday. Some of the zoo's buildings, including the Carousel Pavilion, will not open right away. Guests are encouraged to wear a face mask and to stay at least 6 feet apart from other groups. You'll also notice social distancing guidelines throughout the zoo. Daily operating hours will be from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Still ahead, there's one thing Fargo police want bicycle riders to do to make sure their pleasant summer stays that way.
Beautiful conditions for our day. Check out this gorgeous and colorful sunrise as we had improvement on Wednesday, but spring returns Thursday. Your hour-by-hour forecast is straight ahead.